Now, when you all graduate, you want to go work at a PR firm? You want to work on the client side or the corporate side?
Let's know when you're ready.
I mean, the client side or the agency side? Agency? Why?
Ready to start, Harry?
You know what? The agency side's harder. I know. Oh my God, yes. You kidding?
Isn't that?
I'm on the agency side. I'm telling you, my next gig, I'm going right to the client side. They're out at, 5. I'll tell you, it's good to go on the agency side because I'll tell you, if you can make it on the agency side, because remember, the thing with the agency side is you actually have to get results and you're serving clients and you have to make them happy. They say jump, you have to say how high.
Which side would you recommend for a recent college graduate?
Agency side. Go into the agency side because it'll kick your butt. It'll increase your threshold for professional pain. Okay? So if you can handle it there, you can handle it anywhere. And I'll tell you one more thing.
Do you want to get, so we'll start taping and then we can have them ask questions after too?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I'll tell you one more thing about today's skill set that you have to acquire in the marketplace. If you think that everything you need to know to be a good professional you're going to learn in class or from 9 to 5 at your job, no way. In today's media landscape, there is so much change and so many new things that you have to take it upon yourself to educate yourself and bring that to the table from 9 to 5. When I went into this business about 15 years ago, no one knew about digital marketing. So what is my sort of area preview? If I'm like here or here, am I okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Anything in the front.
Anything?
Edge of the door.
Edge of the door to the edge of the laptop is?
Yeah, edge of that laptop, kind of.
Okay. I was lucky because when I started, there weren't many people who knew their stuff. So I literally could walk into the agencies that I worked at and just be like, they were like, this kid knows everything. And I just they let me do my own thing. It's really different now. It's like, I got people coming in who know a lot. I got kids who come in. There's such a big difference between a kid who comes in and they're like, I've been tinkering with search and social and code since high school, and the kids who come in who are like, yeah, my professor said I should get into digital marketing because that's where the future is. The difference between those two kids is astounding in terms of their ability not only to bring something of value to the table right away, but in terms of their ability to very quickly grasp highly technical marketing concepts and technologies that drive success in today's marketplace. You're all into PR, right? Do you know about Radiant 6? Write that down. Radiant 6 is owned by Salesforce. Oh, who bought them? Adobe or Salesforce? I think Salesforce bought them. But anyway, it's basically Salesforce bought them. Yeah. And it's like if you want to measure chatter levels in social media and identify influencers, all of that's in Radiant 6. So these are the things, when you go to an interview, you got to be like, yeah, and I was playing around with Radiant 6, and it was really cool. I could follow the chatter levels of different keywords and brands and identify the influencers and people talking about those brands. That's the kind of lingo you need coming out of your mouths when you go into an interview. So hopefully this presentation is going to help you be more conversant in social media marketing. I'm going to show you real case studies of programs we've deployed for Harley Davidson, for Bazooka Candy Brands, some pretty major brands. And just so you know, this is the same presentation I just gave for Marketing Profs. The Association of National Advertisers actually sends me in with this presentation. Now, they don't pay me this, but this is what they charge. They charge $10,000 for me to go in and give this presentation at different companies. So this is a really valuable presentation. I'm letting you throw it up on YouTube. It's fine. All right. So, because it's me who brings it to life, right? All right. So let's jump in and I give this presentation different names and different titles depending on who I'm talking to. I'm going to call this Advanced Social Media Strategies and Tactics for you guys. I am not going to talk about posting to Facebook. Okay, we all know about that, right? And I'm not going to talk about how to acquire 1 million fans. Okay, and that's another big mistake, is I think that the world has boiled social media marketing down to how many fans do I have on Facebook. So before I jump in, just a little bit about me. I am your instructor for this session. I'm a columnist for ClickZ. That is a very large online marketing publication. I highly advise, write this down, that you go to ClickZ, you go to Mashable, you go to Search Engine Watch, you go to DM News, and you subscribe to their newsletters. Old school, yes, but newsletters bring the information to you and put it in your inbox where you can read it at your leisure. Definitely subscribe to my expert column on social media on ClickZ. I'm also a speaker for Search Engine Strategies, Media Bistro, Harvard University, Lasell, right, and many other organizations. I'll add one more thing to what you all need to do for your careers. You need to write and you need to speak. An expert is not someone who knows things. An expert is someone who knows how to explain things. And when you write and when you speak and when you teach, it forces you to really think about different concepts and strategies and forces you to figure out how to articulate them to other people. And that's what's going to make you valuable in the marketplace. You could know everything, but if you can't explain it, you can't express your value as an individual in the marketplace. But the way I learn about all this stuff is I'm CEO of Overdrive Interactive. This is a digital marketing firm I started about 12 years ago. Prior to that, I held VP posts at Mullen, at Arnold, at large agencies. Prior to that, I had another digital marketing firm that through a series of acquisitions, I ended up at those large firms. Bubble burst came in 2001. Found myself not in a VP position at a large agency. Started this with two of my friends. Today, we're not a huge agency, but we're not small. We're about 50 people. But we did at these large agencies learn how to deal with global brands and give them very white glove service. So we work with a wide variety of clients, ranging from GE to Harley Davidson and IBM to Tops, and whether our clients are, B2B or business to business or B2C, business to consumer, they have one thing in common. They all come to our firm because they are trying to encourage desired behavior. They're trying to encourage very specific actions and behaviors out of consumers. And that's really what marketing is. And even PR, you are trying to influence people. And in the end, if you work for any kind of company that's trying to sell something, in the end, even PR has to have accountability. It has to move the needle in terms of ROI. So the things that all these companies have in common and why they come to us, even though they have big branding agencies, is we actually encourage very specific behaviors among consumers. So one thing to understand about digital marketing, and even PR or anything, is that the lines are blurring between everything that we do, especially social. Social is like, it could be marketing, it could be advertising, it could be digital, it could be PR. But you have search engine optimization, you have paid search management, you have online media, you have social media, you have creative and website development, email marketing, or email and marketing automation, and then of course you have analytics. And all these together make up what we call integrated marketing. And then you could put PR, print, broadcast, all that stuff. So think about this. All this stuff has to work together. So for example, search engine optimization, you all know what that is, right? Getting people to pop in Google. Well, that's attached to social at the hip because now likes and shares are the new links, right? So the more chatter you create in social media, the more people share your content, the more they weave your content into the fabric of the web, the bigger presence your content and your brand is going to have in search engine optimization. So you have to weave high-value keywords into your social content, okay? And then you're driving all this traffic to your website. Well, guess what? If you don't have a great website, if you don't have great creative, if you don't have great calls to action, you're not going to convert people into prospects, leads, and customers, right? If you're running paid search, you know those Google ads, like Google AdWords, and you're driving all this traffic to your website, but you don't have landing pages that actually encourage desired behavior and get people to do what you want them to do, you're not going to be successful. And then you might, we all know what cookies are, right? You set a cookie in someone's browser, you start to follow them around the web with banners. We've all gone to Zappos or something and seen a Zappos ad following us around, right? That's called retargeting. Well, so now we've gone from paid search to a landing page to online media where you're being followed around the web with a banner, okay? And then let's say you click through and I don't get you to buy something, but I get your email. Well, now you're doing email marketing. And we measure everything to see what's working, what's not working. So this is how everything is starting to work together. It's starting to blend together. And social media is part of that customer acquisition, customer retention, customer engagement picture. But through this talk, I want to give you some constant truths in marketing. Things that you can, sort of embed into your consciousness in your professional lives that will always steer you in the right direction. And one is always encourage desired behavior. You have to look at the thing that you're making, the article you're writing, the blog post, the Twitter tweet, the banner, the landing page, the email, whatever it is, and say, is this going to get people to do what I want them to do? If the answer is no, if the answer is like, I'm looking at this but I'm really not sure what it's asking me or the consumer to do, it's probably not going to work. I can't tell you how many times I look at stuff and go, that's not going to work. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, or there are way too many options, right? You have to look at something and say, what is the behavior I want someone to engage in? And I don't mean become a lead or a customer. I mean, do you want them to fill out a form? Then that's what you're selling at that very moment, especially in digital. You have to think, what do I want people to do right now? Do I want them to fill out a form or opt in, right? Email, Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, whatever it is. What do you want them to do? Engage, share, join, connect, download, try, get off the couch and go to retail, buy. You got to look at your marketing and say, am I escalating people through the sales process? Is the thing that I'm putting in front of them singular in its focus, in the behavior it's trying to encourage? Very often, choice in marketing is bad. If you give things, oftentimes on a landing page, the sum of several options will be less than the sum of a single option. So what's happening in today's marketplace? You all have to go from being marketing professionals. And by the way, this is what I present to real marketing professionals who've been in the business for 20, 30 years. They have to go from being marketing professionals to marketing engineers. Okay? Because in today's marketplace, you have to incorporate so many technical concepts and applications into what you do for marketing. Even if you're doing print, print has digital destinations to it. That you've really got to understand how all this stuff fits together. You need to be conversant in all these technologies. So, I'm going to turn you all into marketing engineers right now. Okay? You ready? I'm going to turn you into marketing engineers, all right? The trick to being a marketing engineer is to answer this one question. And then what? So I know it's corny, but let's say it together. You ready? And then what? Say it again. And then what? Say it again. And then what? Again. And then what? Again. And then what? What is the next step in escalating a prospect through the sales process? On average, You have to touch a consumer 10 times to get them to buy something. If you think about higher consideration products where people see an ad, they go online, they interact with your website, they download materials, a salesperson calls them, then they have another call with the salesperson. They come into the dealership or they meet with a sales rep, they think about it, you write a proposal, you quote them, they come back and buy. There are all these steps to escalating a prospect through a sales process. And now that we have multiple screens and multiple ways of reaching consumers, as a marketer, you have to map that out. Even if PR is part of that. Even if you're dealing with PR, you're still reaching people through multiple channels. And you have to sort of say, well, how does that first impression actually lead to the result that my clients are going to want? And if you're in an agency, who can tell me typically what that result is? What does the client want? What is the result that a client wants? Ink? You know what I mean when I say ink in PR terms? Really? What's it mean when you get ink as a PR person? Yeah, it means you got your article published. Okay, but do you think that's what your client really wants? No, what do they really want? Revenue. That's why they're in business, okay? So you have to be able to say, and then what, and then what, and then what, all the way through the sales process. Even with PR, someone sees my article, and then what'd they do? They went to my website. Okay, then what'd they do? Well, they went to this section of the website and looked at the products. Okay, then what'd they do? So let's look at and then what in action from a digital marketing perspective, okay? And then what? User sees a keyword ad with an offer, and they click. They arrive on a targeted landing page with a form and a coupon. Now, I can't tell you how many marketers say, well, that's it, job well done. No, that's just the beginning. We're setting all these tracking cookies and retargeting cookies and all kinds of stuff like that so we can measure what happened. Then they fill out the form. How many times have you filled out a form online and then it says, thank you, we'll get back to you soon? It's like saying, you can go now. No, not you can go now. Hey, kick out a personalized email saying, thanks for your submission, we'll get back to you soon. Here's a coupon, here are more offers. How about presenting them with additional offers on that page? How about more video? How about video or links to your social properties or more engaging content, right? So it's like, that's not the end of the process, it's the beginning of the process. Keep them engaged. Consumer data set into marketing automation, Salesforce for lead scoring and future marketing automation. Here's another term I want you to write down. Marketing automation. Really important. What happens now when you fill out a form is they are appending your behavioral information on the website, what you looked at, what you did to that email address. Then they are going to Axiom and other data services and appending it to your demographic information. So now they can send you very personalized emails based on what they think you like and know and feel and need and all that stuff. Furthermore, when you come back to the website, even if you don't fill out a form, they might kick out a personalized email with a triggered event. And then online retail sales are tracked, reported for ROI and campaign optimization, and future promotions and offers are sent via marketing automation. That's and then what, 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 right? It's like you got to be able to like walk through all of that stuff. And I'm telling you, in today's modern PR firm, it's not just about, hey, what's the big story? Let me call the New York Times and get it published. That is a tiny fraction of what they're doing in PR firms today. They are managing social media, they are creating customer engagement, they are gathering emails, they are feeding the databases of their clients, they are linking into all of this stuff. So once you can kind of go, and then what, and then what, and then what, you can start to visualize a marketing infrastructure. Now, why am I showing you all this stuff? Because I'm starting broad, I'm starting wide, and I'm saying, look, there's this digital marketing ecosystem, and social's part of it, and then we're going to drill down into social. But you have to understand that social is part of the picture. So basically, sometimes I'll go into a client and they'll say, okay, you're going to meet with the CMO, and you got to tell them what your company's doing, and you have 4 minutes or 3 minutes. That's your piece of the hour. So I put together these renderings, and I found them to be very effective because it lets me take all the stuff I'm doing and fit it together into sort of a schematic that lets the high-level executives at our client companies understand what we're doing. So the first thing we say, okay, we're starting with your brand. We didn't create your brand, but we live underneath it. We're going to understand it from a tonality standpoint, from a compliance standpoint, from a style standpoint. And under it, we're going to deploy some modules. And the first module is drive. We're going to drive traffic with search, online media, and social media. And we're going to drive that into capture, where you have your site network and your social sites and webinars and call centers and landing pages. We're going to capture consumers. We're going to connect with them. And then we are going to put that into Convert, where we have our marketing automation platform, and we have your sales team. Your sales team are going to cherry pick the best leads, but those people who aren't ready to talk to a salesperson, well, we're going to be pushing out email and direct mail communications and even social and viral communications to nurture them to the point where they say, okay, now I'm ready to talk to a sales rep. And then we're going to wrap everything and optimize. That's the ability to track, report, and respond to what works and what doesn't work. And I call this particular rendering, and by the way, I can go into 99% of any companies that generate leads and say, this is what we're going to do for you. And we call this drive, capture, convert, optimize. But there's another thing happening in today's marketplace. And this is where social really comes in. So everyone's heard of branding, and obviously PR and branding attached to the hip. It's more than just branding today. We're doing something called creating a brand embrace. What companies are doing is they are making real digital connections with their target audience on a mass scale. So companies have millions of email addresses. Subway has 25 million followers or fans on Facebook. No one's going to deny that's an incredible marketing asset. So the brand embrace is the sum total of all your digital connections. It's the sum total of your owned and earned media. And big companies are building up huge media platforms and bypassing traditional media gatekeepers so that they can communicate with millions of people with the push of a button. And that's something that companies didn't have just 10 years ago. This is a whole new paradigm in marketing. And PR and earned media and that whole concept, big part of it. Okay, any questions? Cool?
You mentioned the spending time, right, on the different sites and capturing. So I know there's a number. Is it still relevant? Is there a number of how long you're trying to keep them, an optimal time you're trying to keep their attention?
No, I mean, if someone comes to my website and I get them to convert in 60 seconds and I capture that information, great. I don't know that there's an optimal time. We more look at outcomes, leads, cost per lead, lead quality, shares. So I don't know. Obviously, anecdotally, longer is better, but I don't know that there's sort of like, under 2.5 minutes and you're not achieving your mission. It all depends on how long it takes for someone to do the thing that you want them to do. Obviously, 30 seconds probably isn't optimal. But again, it all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're a media site and your job is to drive clicks and get paid for those clicks to other sites, and someone comes to your site and within 5 seconds clicks on a link that you get $1 per click for, job well done. So it all sort of depends. I don't know if there's sort of a specific number. So I think what you have to look at it is more like, what do I want to accomplish? Am I accomplishing in that time? Okay, so let's talk about social media marketing, which is why you're in this class. Just like that constant truth of what do I want people to do in marketing, when you're doing social, you have to say, what do I want people to do, right? You want them to view and consume, like copy, images, and video, right? You want them to join and engage, like, opt into email. You want them to advocate, share, retweet, post. You want them to express, right? Comment. You want them to contribute. You want them to submit content. And of course, you do want them to convert. Lead gen, phone call, purchase. So you really do have to look at what you're doing in marketing and saying, what do I want to happen? Don't just throw stuff out there and think, whatever happens, happens. You have to have an actual goal of what you want people to do. You also do not need 1 million fans or followers to leverage social media. Most companies are never going to have 1 million fans. So you have to figure out other ways of squeezing an ROI out of social media without 1 million fans. And I'm going to show you some of those ways. Also, social media can add octane to any program, website, or promotion. So you can see how social media is being weaved into everything we do. Television commercials tell you to go to Facebook. Share buttons are showing up all over the place. It's not just about what happens in Twitter and Facebook. And the share can be as good as the like, if not better. And I think the share, bless you, the share is the action. I'm going to talk to you a lot about the share. The share is the power of social media. And finally, you can measure social media ROI much in the same way that you measure anything else you do online. So, let's talk about the share. So we all know these things, right? These share buttons that we see all over the place, these chiclets. The share is the gold nugget of the online marketing world. Everyone's heard of, well, when I get someone to a website, I want them to fill out a form or opt into my email. No, you want them to share. In social media, the share is the action. Just remember that. Here's Harley Davidson. It took us 18 months, this was a few years ago, just to get them to put share buttons on their site. They were like, no way, that's uncool. We don't want other logos and other brands on our site. And finally, I kind of laid it out. I said, listen, if even a tiny percentage of people share, you have 2 million visitors coming to your site every month. If I can just get a tiny percentage of those people to share your bikes on Facebook, you're going to get millions of dollars in free advertising. And they did it. So what happened? People would come in, they click on Facebook, it would grab an image of their favorite bike, boom, put it right in their news feed. So when my friend Jeff comes in, he sees my favorite bike in his news feed. That's social media marketing. It has nothing to do with how many fans you have and everything to do with making the share the call to action. Everything to do with leveraging other people's social networks to promote your brands. And that's the power of social media. You could have 1 fan, you could have 10 million fans, but what you really want to happen is for other people to start talking about you, for other people to incorporate your content into their social conversations. And that's the power of social media. That's the share. So what did they do? They started putting share buttons in these little aggregators where you would open them up. I hate these things. Do not use these. You need to celebrate the share. You know, I have this page with a social media map on it, and it's like you got to have the share up there as a big honking call to action. The share is the action. If you hide it, if you obfuscate it with this little consolidation button, people aren't going to share as much. Celebrate the share. Encourage people to share. Okay? And then here's the second thing. Configure your share copy. So here are these share buttons here, and basically, you know, you go to your web developer and you say, I want to control the image and the copy that goes in the share button. If you just take the default share buttons and put them on a page, Facebook will decide what to grab, but you can put what's called metadata into the share button application and control what it says. So basically, I mean, I'm not a developer, but I say to my webmasters, look, put this image and that copy in my shares. Put that tweet copy in my share. So configure your share copy. Okay? So I wanted to really push the concept of the share on you. We all know we need Facebook fans. We all know we need Twitter followers. Great. But let's talk about real advanced tactics. The share. How do you get people to share? That's going to be sort of a theme of what we talk about. So let's look at some social promotions where we incorporated the power of social media into some things we were already doing. So Harley Davidson said to us, you know, it's great that, and we did have 1 million fans at Harley. I mean, Harley's a great social client. People tattoo the Harley logo on their necks. So this is not a hard brand to get likes for, okay? Harley came to us and said, it's great that we have 1 million fans, but you gotta remember, we sell bikes in the dealership. How are you gonna use social media to get people into the dealership? And we said, okay, we have an idea. We're gonna put up this website, and we're gonna tell people that they can be part of this photo mosaic poster. You submit your photo, we're gonna put 100,000 people on this poster, and then for about $6, we can print it, we'll send it to the dealer of their choice, and then they have to go into that dealer to pick it up. Now, $6 may sound like a lot, but if you understand the cost of generating a door swing in retail, a door swing means you got someone off the couch into the store and they swung open the door. For something like Harley Davidson, which is a luxury brand, or an automobile, the cost is amazingly high, maybe $50, $60 for traditional media to get like someone to walk into a Toyota dealer. I mean, look at their ad budgets and look at how many people walk in to an auto dealer. They said, wow, we really like that idea. We actually won Best Use of Social Media at MyTex for this. We're going to use the mosaic for our catalog cover. Well, we said, okay, that's cool. Not going to get 100,000 people into your catalog cover, but we'll do it. And so we did it. So we went on Facebook. We said, submit your photo, and you'll be part of the Harley Davidson catalog cover. So in 3 days, we got 12,000 photos. We had to go through them, take out all the woo and the and all that stuff, right? So we took out all those photos. I'll tell you, students are tough audiences. I always get laughs with that. And so we took out all those photos, and we said, okay, we created the catalog cover. McCann Erickson actually did the catalog. And then we immortalized the promotion in this website. And we said to everyone, okay, go to the dealer, get your catalog, and then come back to this website, and you can find where you are. So of course, people went crazy. They all went to the dealers. They all got the catalogs. Now, if you know anything about a Harley Davidson owner, when they go into a dealer, they're going to drool over the new bikes. They're going to test drive a new bike. They're going to buy gear, you know, and they're going to get engaged with their local Harley dealer. So they went to the dealer. They got the catalog, and then they would go online here, and you can see as we sort of drill in what this is made of. It's all the photos that people submitted in this mosaic, and people could go in and put in their code, and it would zoom in and find you in the mosaic. And this is why I say a digital marketing firm has to handle your social, because we can do stuff like this, and your average PR firm does not have the in-house technical expertise to put things like this together. That's changing. Now, what people did, and because I'm projecting, my resolution's a little wonky here, but what did people do? Of course, they shared this thing like crazy. And there it is, right? Now I'm going to delete this because my friends are always like, why do you post this every day? But that's social media marketing, right? It's like, you know, what is that? That was print, that was catalog, that was drive to store, that was crowdsourcing. We brought everyone together. We immortalized it in this microsite. People shared it like crazy. We drove people into the dealership. It manifested in print. When I say that the lines are blurring, we generated 12,000 email addresses for their list. By the way, for the 12,000 people that participated with the mosaic, their repurchase rate was much higher over 18 months than the control group who didn't participate, because we got them into the dealers. But now, here's the PR aspect, the groundswell, the digital ink we got off it. The mosaic got posted all over the place. Bloggers loved it. Okay, look at this. This guy did a really cool YouTube video on it. Didn't get that many views, but still, it showed how passionate people were about it. Huh, do we not have sound? That's funny, I'm being retargeted. This is one of my clients, wide plate flooring. You know, and the catalogs even ended up on auction sites. That's social media marketing. Nothing to do with how many fans we have. Everything to do with, again, tapping into the passions of your target audience and letting them participate with your marketing. So, any questions? None? You sure? Okay. Should have a stack of $5 bills on here, and I'll be like, $5 for a question. It's going to be a fast class if you don't ask.
Save one for the end.
Right. Okay. This is Samsonite, and very different brand than Harley Davidson. People aren't quite as passionate about luggage as they are about their rides. So we were doing a Facebook, contest, and we wanted to drive fans, but we also wanted to build up our email list or their email list and drive purchases. Here's sort of the moral of this whole story. I want to show you how to incorporate social sharing into the workflow. So remember that. Incorporate social sharing into the workflow. Okay? If you ever have someone pitching you on a viral marketing campaign and they say, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, and then, it's going to go viral. No. You hope it's going to go viral. You cannot bank on viral marketing, but you can encourage it. And let me show you how. So people would come in to the contest. We'd give away a bag a day. You'd hit like, and then you could enter. But then we'd go up one more step, share the contest. This is called encouraging the share. Now, we used to be able to have nothing here. We would force you to share. I called it force the share. And Facebook got a little uptight about it. So now we had to put the no thanks, because you can't have it be a required aspect of entry to the contest. It has to be optional. So we just make it very subliminal. So we got about half the people to share it. And then we say, okay, you're all entered. Oh, by the way, go shop now and you get $20 off for every $100 you spend. Okay, so this is SocialEye. This is our social tracking application, tracking fan growth. Guess where we launch contests? Can you tell? Right? Flat, 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 contest. Flat, 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 contest. And barely any advertising drove that, because people were sharing it and alerting other people. So that's how it went viral. We encouraged the share. Questions? Okay. You sure? All right, you, New York, ask a question. Ask a question.
So, did you know that you always wanted to be a PR major going through, getting a degree in PR? Did you always know that you wanted to do that, or did you second guess your...
Maybe I was an accounting major. With a computer science minor.
So I can see that you definitely changed profession.
Right, I was working for my dad and I said, I am not indulging in my creative side here. And I started a music promotion business, started doing web development for the music industry. They have no money, totally never paid their bills. Actually had a corporate client, started paying the bills. I was like, okay, people, new direction. Screw the music business, let's make some money. Okay, I'll keep going. So, I'll show you something I did for Bazooka Candy Brands, right? this was a product that Bazooka was launching, and they were trying to get into Target and Walmart and, you know, different stores, and they were actually targeting moms with it. And it was like a little Post-it note with a little piece of candy, and you'd write a little note on it, and you'd put it in Junior's lunchbox. But the stores didn't get it, and they weren't putting them on the shelves. And so Bazooka said, well, let's do a sampling program. We'll get feedback from moms. I said, well, you're going to have a hard time getting feedback if all you do is hand them out at events. Let's do a social sampling program. The first thing we had, and we had like a shoestring budget, like no money to do this. So the first thing we did is we made a little video about the social sampling promotion that people could watch so they could understand what it was about. So let's, I'll play you this little video. Can you guys hear that? No? It's muted. Yeah, don't worry about it. There's no talking anyway.
Sweet tweets. Send someone a smile. And now, mail a sweet tweets note to someone for free. Here's how. First, type your message in our easy-to-use online form. That's it. We'll do the rest. Your message will be handwritten and sent out by U.S. mail so you can send a smile to someone you love. Help us to spread smiles with sweet tweets and share with your friends.
So
it's interesting how the USPS has become such a novel, idea, right? People don't get handwritten notes. So it used to be, in the early days, you would email somebody a birthday card. And that was, kind of a big deal that you took the time, picked it out,
Right.
addressed it, and you sent them an email birthday card. Now it's, it's become completely the inverse. It's such a novel idea, I got a card in the mail, and now a company is doing that specifically for postcards. So you can take a picture of whatever you wanted on vacation and, type in the message, and they'll send this handwritten postcard of the picture of your choice, to someone. They're making a business of that personalized touch.
I was just showing Postcardly to Samsonite saying, hey, we should be doing this. We should be doing Samsonite templates and like paying for postcards on Postcardly so people don't have to pay for them. So yeah, that's, it's special to get something in the mail. You had a question back there.
Yeah, I was just like, how like you kind of directed it more towards like moms kind of thing, like putting in their kids' lunches. Did you ever have any problems with like dads taking offense to it in a way?
No, because we didn't really target moms in the sense that we were like, hey, moms. It was more just like, we knew that the appeal and who we wanted to reach and who would talk about it and who would think it was cute was moms. Dads liked it too. What we found were tweens were going crazy over these. But, again, what we encouraged them not to do was just to hand them out. We said, let's do this on Facebook. And one thing I love about direct mail, while I'm not an offline guy, is that direct mail and print on demand is the best way to make the virtual physical. And what were we building here? We were building this whole experiential thing where parents or someone could go online, do something online, and then create a whole experiential event in the real world. And there's something really special about that. So let's look at what happened. So we sparked it off with a little media. We ran Facebook ads against moms. We spent $140. So, because the thing took off virally, once word got out. So you'd click on that ad, you'd go to this tab on Facebook, you'd hit like, and then you'd fill out the form. And then, now because this wasn't a contest, we could force the share. We go up, almost done. Just share it. Tell your friends that you just sent a sweet tweet through the mail. And then when you were done, we'd say, hey, want some more? Go buy them online. Okay? So we could force the share. And then we'd take people over to the Tops. Who here knows who Tops is? Wow. See, you must be a tiny bit older than the rest of the folks here, maybe. Top baseball cards. Tops baseball cards.
Wow. I don't know why I didn't think that.
Okay? So Topps owns Wacky Packs, Star Wars cards, NFL cards, Bazooka candy brands. They own a lot of things. And Michael Eisner owns Topps. So we take you to the Topps website. And then in Bianca's news feed, it would say, hey, I just bought sweet tweets. So what happened? Well, people started filling these things out. Now, unfortunately, this was kind of hard to fulfill because we had to do a handwritten note, and you can't print onto these things. So it was a little hard. So I had my office manager's teenage daughter and 10 of her friends right now, and I paid them, per piece, and they could just sit there cranking these things out. And we got about 20,000 of them out the door for about $1 a piece. Now, can anyone guess now here are cumulative likes. So can anyone guess where we started the promotion? Right. So we started with 15,000, but you could send more than one. You could send up to 3. So here you can see we launched it and poof. Now actually it all happened in literally 4 hours, but the latency in Facebook reporting kind of delayed it a little bit. But it went, literally it went poof, one day, bam, 4 hours, about 13,000 fans. And then people were like, hey, we missed it, we want more. So we contacted Topps and we said, send us another few thousand. We got another 5,000. And you can see we got this another little bump there. We got about 18,000 likes or fans in a period of, just a few hours. And you can see that people were like, hey, you can get these online, very affordable, and I didn't pay shipping. Now here's the thing. You remember when you were little and you got something in the mail? How excited you were? Right? Well, listen to this. I sent 2 to my best friend's girls, and they got them when they came home from school. Mom said the girls cried because they were so happy to get mail just for them. Thank you very much. I mean, I guess kids really never get stuff in the mail now, right? Here's someone saying, I ordered some too. These will be a nice pick-me-up for the kids when they need it. I got the sweet tweets in the mail today. The kiddos enjoyed them very much. Very cute. Thank you. My friend told me she got her sweet tweets in the mail and it made her bad day better. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to send to her. So we have like tons and tons of these accolades, which we were able to put on a sales sheet. So when the salespeople went back to Target and Walmart and people like that, they were like, look, this is what people think of them. They really do like them. We were able to get all this organic feedback. So in PR, that's really important. That's one of the real values of social media, is that you can kind of springboard off communities and people and really get valuable feedback from them and actually use their accolades as testimonials. Tons of Twitter chatter. In fact, we got about 250,000 impressions on Twitter from all the chatter. And here's what's really interesting. So our Social Eye app, which I'll show you what that is, we're able to go in and look at the people tweeting about it, right? And again, we wanted to reach moms. Look, Roll Mommy, New York Single Mom, Savvy Mom New York, Macaroni Kid New York City, Family Game Night, Selfish Mom, Gay New York City Dad, Mommy Factor, C2C Mom, Hip Housewife. Were we reaching moms? Yes, we were. Okay? Now here's another really important thing. Everyone wants to reach mommy bloggers. Well, you can't just throw stuff at mommy bloggers, and hope they're going to write about it. So, but when you put stuff out there and you find out what mommy bloggers and mommy tweeters react to, Now you're identifying influencers who are already talking about you and like your products. So we're able to go to Roll Mommy, who tweeted us 6 times to her 11,000 followers, right? And find out who she is, and then send her a case of these things and engage with her. She already likes them. We know that, right? So that's what PR, and that's where PR comes in social, is really starting to create relationships with these influencers. And that's what tools like Social Line, Radiant 6 do. What else happened? Website sold out first day. Now, we didn't intend for that to happen. So I showed you like 3 consumer brands, right? Harley Davidson, Samsonite, Bazooka. Real easy social media clients. I mean, people are passionate about motorcycles, people are passionate about travel, candy, what's not to love, right? All right. Most of you will not work for companies like that, especially if you're around here. Because what you got around here is technology, financial companies, and B2B companies. Who knows what B2B is? Right. Okay. Progress Software. Large technology firm here in Massachusetts. They wanted to coin a term called operational responsiveness. Now, actually, this is kind of a PR thing because companies very much like Salesforce really were one of the innovators in SaaS computing. IBM and Oracle are big at promoting business intelligence. Someone coined the term e-commerce. Companies love to coin terms and then have their technology tightly associated with that term. So Progress basically makes enterprise software that gets big enterprise systems to talk to each other. The best example I can use of what operational responsiveness is does anyone remember a few years back, you guys might have been in grade school, but when JetBlue had a plane sit on the runway for 11 hours.
It was 2007.
It was 2007. And the CEO got fired? Okay. Because people were like videotaping it, posting it to YouTube real time. It was like the public knew about it before the executives did. Progress was not being JetBlue was not being operationally responsive. I mean, they could have flown a plane in from anywhere in the country and had those people on their way in 11 hours, right? Alarm bells should have been going off in different places, in the executive suite, in PR, in trafficking, all over the place, okay? But it wasn't. Why? They weren't being operationally responsive. Their systems weren't talking to each other. They didn't have alerts set. So Progress had to define this term, promote it, and own it. So the first thing was to define it. And if you went into Wikipedia and you put in operational responsiveness, well, the term just didn't exist. So the first thing that had to happen is it had to be defined. Now, if just anyone goes into Wikipedia and posts an article, chances are it could get pulled down. But you put a Forrester analyst into Wikipedia and have Larry Fulton post something, that's going to stick. So Larry Fulton from Forrester writes a white paper on it and posts it on Wikipedia, and it stays. So now we've created the term. And then we launched this socially infused campaign, and this was my 4 minutes with the CMO kind of, okay, what are you going to do? Well, we have our campaign objectives, and we're going to create all of our campaign assets, our banners, our white papers, our ad units, our infographics, and we're going to push it out through this unified communication platform, online media, search, social, and we're going to integrate it with stuff you're already doing, and we're going to drive everyone to landing pages, and then we're going to do post-conversion engagement. So once you download the white paper, we're going to hit you with what's called drip campaigns from marketing automation. We're going to nurture your leads. We're going to measure everything. And then you're going to be left with brand awareness and lasting data assets, a database of potential customers. So this is sort of that rendering that I created to sort of let the higher ups at Progress understand what we were doing. The way we socially infused it is we got the top enterprise software influencers and bloggers in the country to talk about it. And how did we do that? The way we did that was we told them, we're going to feature your videos in our advertising, in our banner ads that we run all over the top technology sites all over the world. So what you have to understand about bloggers is they all want to be rock stars. They're blogging to further their careers. Remember when I said about furthering your career through writing and speaking? Well, blogging is part of that. They are establishing themselves as thought leaders. So you go to Dana Gardner, and we said, gee, we'd like to introduce you to the concept of operational responsiveness, and we want to hear what you think about it. He said, well, why should I do that? Well, because we're going to feature you in advertising all over the place. Great. And then once you got Dana Gardner, you go to Dion Hinchcliffe and you say, hey, we're going to, we'd like you to talk about operational responsiveness. He says, why should I do that? And we said, well, we got Dana Gardner to do it. Whoa. Well, we can't have Dana Gardner up on the stage and not have me up on the stage. So after that, people fall in line. We were able to put up this blogger video forum on the Progress website. Of course, we launched a YouTube channel. And what did those bloggers do? They grabbed those videos and they embedded them in their blogs, just like what I'm going to do with this video. And then we went and we used the videos in a rich media banner. So this is called Point Roll, this technology, and it creates band. Now, we didn't run it on Boston.com with this woman with this cat. This is just a test environment.
What's nice about information technology is it keeps getting more powerful and it actually keeps getting cheaper to exert that power. And so the volume.
So it's kind of running slow on this, but. So we'll watch this whole video so you can learn about operational responsiveness. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so, you could run through this video, you could download the white paper. This video actually had 4 times the engagement rate of a normal video running across these technology networks because now I don't know who these bloggers are because I'm not in enterprise technology, but apparently if you're a very high level chief, CIO or CTO, you know who these guys are. But what happened? This is Radiant 6. These are chatter levels about Progress software. So during the campaign, chatter about Progress went up 442%. So this is Radiant 6. I want you guys all to really get to know Radiant 6. And you can see that right under operational responsiveness in Google was progress.com, right? So we optimized Progress. And in fact, Progress owned operational responsiveness. I mean, they were all over the place. All the content around operational responsiveness was Progress. But here's the really cool thing, okay? And again, this definitely is attached to PR, okay? The effect of PR is chatter. You want people talking about stuff, right? So look at this. Before the campaign, if you put in operational responsiveness, there was only 1.1 million instances of operational responsiveness or operational and responsiveness appearing together in Google results. During the campaign at its peak, because they took their pedal off the metal, right? 61,200,000 instances of operational responsiveness in Google, okay? Do you know what kind of groundswell in online chatter that represents? That's huge. And by the way, we generated thousands and thousands of sales leads out of this thing. Okay. So that's more of a B2B case study. And honestly, in your careers, you're going to be doing a lot more stuff like that than Harley Davidson and Mazooka candy brands. Unless you go move to New York. Questions? Sure.
I already got my question out of the
All
way.
right. Do I need to pick someone else? All right, go.
Have you noticed any changes in your job since the emphasis on social media has increased?
Huge changes. The one constant in this business is, in fact, change. One of the big changes is who I'm competing with. So when I did search, when we were a digital marketing firm and we did search, media, and email and web development, only digital firms were doing it. Well, every single, it doesn't matter whether you're in PR or advertising or direct marketing, everyone is now saying, yeah, we do social. Go to any PR firm and go to their services menu and you'll see social media, right? So now that social's weaved into everything we do, I'm competing not just with other digital marketing firms, I'm competing with branding firms, I'm competing with PR firms. So big change, especially since social media has gotten weaved into everything. And now every time we get together with agency summits, it's like, well, who's handling social and who's best to do it? So sometimes the PR firm's handling the content, but we're doing, we're creating the mosaic, or we're doing different Facebook applications or things like that. So it's gotten very convoluted. So, big changes, definitely. Okay, let me show you one more case study. I'm going to show you my favorite case study because it's something that, I did to promote my firm. It's a social content campaign. So you all saw this social media map, right? Or probably a more recent version of it. So, I kind of rode the social media wave and I said, I got an idea. I'm going to make I saw a subway map and I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a subway map of social media sites and I'm going to make Grand Central Station Overdrive Interactive. Okay, and this map put me on the map, put my firm on the map. I got a call from the Department of Defense after I put this out. And I was like, oh, okay, I got a call, it's a major, we want you to come speak to the Joint Chiefs who are having a very intimate conference on social media because we're really unsure on how to handle this. And I said, okay, that's cool. How do you know about me? And they said, well, I don't know, I'm holding some map and your company's in the middle of it. And I looked at your website and you guys seem to have a handle on this. So this map really got around. So this is what I call lightweight content. My sister is a nutritionist and public health PhD, and I'm going to help her make a local food movement map. What is something that represents the world of local food? You can be an expert in something and you can visualize it. Now, I find the key to infographics, which this is an infographic, is to do something that's portable, campaignable, and repeatable. So I can do this every year. I can re-release it, right? And it's portable because it can be a PDF, it can be a graphic, it prints on an 8.5 by 11. A lot of times people do these infographics and they're like 3 feet long. No, don't do that. Make sure it fits on an 8.5 by 11. You want your content to be lightweight, which means you didn't put that much effort into it, because if it flops, you don't want to be like, oh my God, I worked 10 weeks on that, right? You want it to be portable, so it can print, it can be a graphic, and you want it to be campaignable and repeatable. So you can do a campaign every year on it. So we did this map, and here's the key thing. I put it on this landing page and I said, hey, bloggers, grab the image, just give me a link, and see these share buttons? Front and center, call to action, the share is the action, and look at this, people shared it like crazy. Not because they liked me, because they thought the map was interesting. And you can see that over 11% of my site traffic, right when I released it, came from the map. And look at this guy, best, this blogger posted it, best social media map yet. I can't argue with this guy, right? And look at all over the place, posted everywhere, right? You search social media map, it's at the top of Google, and look at this, you search for social media mapping tools or tools map. Sometimes I come up, sometimes the map, my content on someone else's site comes up. Look at this. Here's Eric Wallman, prominent social media author, puts my map on his blog, links to me. Look at this. 486 people tweeted my map off his blog. 75 likes, 170 LinkedIn shares. That's amazing. That's social media marketing. That's PR. That's the new PR right there. Right? The share is the action. That's the vehicle by which you weave your content into the fabric of the web. You move your content, your thought leadership through the web, and you get it in front of people and you get it into their minds. So, every time we release a map and we do an image search, we see that it just goes all over the place. But here's the really cool thing. I can see what companies are looking at my site. So there's something called reverse IP lookup, where I can, it's like caller ID for your website. I can see what companies are hitting my site by looking at their IP address. So look at this. I got Amazon, 800 Flowers, Allstate Insurance, AAA, Anheuser-Busch, Samsung. All of these huge companies are hitting my site. I could have never paid for that kind of advertising. So from a media equivalent value standpoint, we're talking like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars worth of advertising. So in 2011, I launched a new map, and this time I dropped an email, but for the people on my email list, I said, well, I already have their email. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send them to my Facebook page to get the map. So they could hit like, go in, get the map. They could share it, so it goes into my news feed, and my friend Susan sees it, and she goes for it. Guess which day I launched the map? Right? Look at that. Look what happened to my fan count when I launched the map. Right? So you want to know how to grow your map from a B2B standpoint? Release your white papers, release your infographics on your fan page. So the last time I did this, I did the same thing, and now I'm up to about 4,500 likes. I mean, again, I'm not, Bazooka Candy Brands. My Twitter presence, so I had about 324,000 impressions on Twitter in July. In August, almost 1 million, because people tweeting about the map. And you can see, well, we tweeted it 47 times, but Eric Wallman tweeted it twice to his 50,000 people. Ben and Jerry's Truck tweeted it 4 times. So all these people tweeting about the map. Paul Gillen, he's a prominent author, tweeted it to his 9,000 people. But here's the cool thing. Even though the map was being given away on Facebook, my website traffic doubled. So I went from 10,000 visits in July to over 20,000 visits in August. So you see how releasing that one piece of content not only got me all those fans, but doubled my web traffic. And a lot of it was direct. Why was my web traffic direct? Because I put a link on the PDF. When you clicked on that logo, it went right to me. And people were Googling my company. And then social media sites, these are all social media sites that were driving traffic to me. So that's just from one piece of content. You could also call this inbound marketing. Have you heard that term? But here's the ROI. Look at this, leads. Here's a lead, Southern New Hampshire University, Director of Creative. I got the lead from Twitter. I captured the URL. Here's another lead, Expedia, Socialnomics. I got it off that blog. Here's another lead, right, from Google Search. This is social media success being realized through search. Because ultimately, in the long run, for most companies, social is a vehicle for weaving their content into the fabric of the web, and then people find it through search. They come to your website and they buy, or they convert in some way. And then, so that's sort of the story behind the map. And I have generated so many leads off that map. I've probably done $10 million in business off that map.
So part of what they're going to be doing is looking at or starting the process of understanding what they would be doing for other people, right, by working on their own brand and their own blog and their own social media campaign. So, in that you were, working on promoting yourself. If you had to pick, obviously you mentioned the share is the option, but what are the top couple of things if they were just getting started that they should really be focused on to kind of put one foot in front of the other?
There's a few things that are like really important for you all to do. Number one, there is a whole lexicon of terms and technologies that you need to know as marketing professionals. If you walk into an interview and you can roll lingo off your tongue, you are going to be miles ahead of the next person, okay? So I'll list a few for you, all right? So you're going to go apply at PR firms, right? Radiant 6, get to know the other clipping services out there. So you have like Symphony, Radiant 6, TechRigi. Really understand what the KPIs, who can tell me what a KPI is? No one? Key performance indicator. What are the KPIs for PR? How do you measure success? Revenue is definitely one at the end of the road, but it's like, obviously pickups. What are the analytics, right? What are you measuring in PR? I'm not a PR person. I mean, I know a little bit about it, but it's like, what are the analytics in PR? Have you guys heard of Vocus? PR Web, Business News Wire. So get to know the wire services. Vocus, PR Web, Business Wire. Play around with those. That's going to be half your job right there, is dropping things on the wire services. So, the first thing is you got to get to know the technologies and tools of the trade that are driving the business. The second thing you need to do is start to really hone your presentation and speaking and writing skills. You need to be able to stand up in front of a bunch of people like I just did and present something. I will tell you that when I interview people, by the time they get to me and I'm the CEO, I'm the last stop. Their assignment isn't, I'm going to sit there and ask you questions. It's, I give them an assignment. Develop a 10-minute presentation on how you would market me or this. And they got to come in. And I can tell right away who's going to be good at their job and not by the way that they present their presentation. I can tell whether they did their research, whether the presentation is full of errors, whether they have good presentation skills, because that's what we do. And if they can't do it for me selling themselves, they're going to do a really bad job doing it for my agency to my clients. So you got to hone in your presentation skills. But I would say the first step is you got to get to know the technologies driving your business, and you got to hone in your ability to explain things and wrap your ideas up in a deck. I'm going to show you just a couple more slides, and then we can just do free-flowing Q&A. I just want to show you some examples of measuring, okay?
So I don't know if anyone else has to get to anywhere.
Yeah, what time do we end?
We're about 5 minutes over.
All right. Oh, we're 5 minutes over? All right, well, I'll show you one slide, and then we'll be done. Here's the thing you want to measure.
If you want to stay around after to ask questions, you're more than welcome to after that.
Oh, I didn't even know I went over.
No, it's fine.
One thing. In PR, the big measurement is engagement. All right? And there's something called EdgeRank in Facebook. If you have low engagement levels, Facebook starts to block your posts from people's news feeds. So this is our technology where we're able to look at where we have high engagement. We're able to click on that little link and say, wow, this is what we asked people that got so many comments and things like that. So at least in Facebook, get to know EdgeRank. Go into a meeting and start talking about, go into an interview and start talking about Facebook EdgeRank and encouraging engagement. You'll get the job like that. All right? EdgeRank. All right, we'll blast to the end. All right, that's the show, folks.